as well as you do. I know it's theoretically possible, but I also know we're talking revolution.
Well, I'll tell you what it all boils down to. Money.
No, Pat, what it all boils down to is that you, like everybody else, is avoiding the issue today. That's what it all boils down to, and it's making me just a little bit sick to my stomach. Well, that's great to hear, Saul. I'm really glad to hear that.
Okay, then just take
But you're showing utterly no compassion whatsoever for a man that has spent 23 years putting a bolt on the end of a piece of machinery and did a pretty damn good job of it, and that does not have the mental capacity to retrain to become a computer operator or a life insurance salesman.
Wait a minute. Everybody makes choices. Now, if that gentleman made his choice at an early age to sit there and screw a bolt on the end of a nut, then fine. That was his choice. And that's what this country is all about, is we get to make our choices.
No, Saul. What this country is all about is not pigs like you sitting there saying, well, tough luck for him. He made his choice.
That's true.
I got mine, and I couldn't care less about him.
No, I do care about him, and I'm very upset that he did not prepare himself. It's just what this country is all about, my friend. We all have choices to make.
No, Saul. Oh, wait. Don't you dare call me your friend. Don't you dare call me your friend. Ever. Not in this conversation, not ever. When you sit there and tell me, well, he made his choice, he should have known that the economic system was going to change out from underneath him. He should have known that the rich cats in this country were going to make it so that it would be far more advantageous to dump on him and ship the job overseas, and he should have prepared himself. No, Sal, I don't buy it.
And as far as the economic system changing, that's right, they have. In the auto manufacturing plants, those guys are making, what, 15, 20 bucks an hour? That's pretty damn good money for an unskilled laborer.
Oh, really, Sal?
Don't you think so?
Well, first of all, most of them are not making 15 and 20 bucks an hour cash money, but that's besides the point. Even if they were, that is just barely enough money to raise a family of 4.
Well, then don't have a family of 4.
Oh,
that's another choice that we get to make.
Right.
Exactly. If you can't raise them, if you can't afford them, don't have them. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. So that you can drive a Toyota.
No, I don't drive a Toyota.
Or a Mercedes.
As a matter of fact, I drive strictly American products.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
But anyway, I would agree that we do need to get some help in the healthcare industry. And
are you afraid of getting sick, Saul?
One way
Saul, what's the matter? Are you afraid of getting sick?
No, I'm fully covered. I don't have the slightest problem with that. Matter of fact, I'm covered in 2 different directions. So.
Was somebody in the family afraid of getting sick that doesn't have full coverage?
I have 100% insurance. And
we got somebody in the family, Saul, that is looking a little pale these days that doesn't have. Saul, do you have somebody in the family who's looking a little pale these days that doesn't have full coverage? That you want that slob who should have known better about learning to do something other than put a bolt on a piece of machinery to pay for it?
One of the healthcare things that we could do, possible, is the doctors are making these big money and they're tax sheltering their money and so forth. We know they're looking for tax shelters. So one possibility might be is to have clinics that are open in the evening time primarily. You could have, you'd want them full. You'd want them evening and daytime, obviously. If a person can't afford to, isn't making a decent living, he can't afford to give up time to go to the
Sal, I couldn't care less what you have to say. A little bit of an investment, $1 or $2. An hour of your time, if you really cared.
What I stare?
Thank you, Yvonne. 12:31 the time. This nation in the last dozen years or so has turned into a nation of special interests. We have people who are interested in Israel. Yeah, well, that's all fine and well. I certainly support Israel's right to exist. But I also support a man and his right to have a decent job. Or people get real interested about abortion and killing little unborn babies. Well, I'm very interested in born babies. People get real interested in Central America where they don't have the right to form labor unions because of the commies. Well, I'm interested in Florida where you don't have the right to form labor unions because of the conservatives. I mean, none of these things matter. Israel, abortion, Central America, Bible reading, you name your favorite special interest. The death penalty, not one of those things matters. So long as there's a skilled factory worker who can't find a job. So long as there's a man who spent 15, 16, 17 years of his life learning how to put together a Ford tractor. And now they don't make Ford tractors anymore in this country. None of those special interests matter so long as there's a school teacher, a good school teacher, A man or a woman who knew how to inspire and motivate children, but finds it more economically feasible to sell insurance than to teach in the schools. None of that matters. None of those special interests matter, so long as there is a hospital that will turn away a person in need of medical care, but who lacks the ability to pay. Then none of those other things matter. To ignore these issues in favor of some other self-serving obsession is to be nothing more than a selfish pig. To have milked this country for all that it's worth for your own benefit, and then to ignore those who have not had the opportunity, is to be nothing more than a selfish pig. To fail to take an active interest in the political process in this country, to fail to take an active interest in the plight of the citizens of this country, is to be un-American. I don't give a damn how many tears you shed on the 4th of July when the fireworks are going off and they're playing the patriotic music, if you're not registered to vote. I don't give a damn about how many tears you shed on the 4th of July, patting yourself on the back for your patriotism, if you haven't taken the time and the trouble at this point in the game to find out who's running, where they stand. You're not an American. You're just a person that likes a good party. We're in this mess that we are in because too damned many people have either forgotten what is really important, or because too damned many people have stopped playing an active role in the day-to-day operation of their country. Jobs, housing, education, health, burn it into your head, because nothing else really matters. Nothing. Nothing else really takes priority over those 4 issues. That's not to say that there are not other issues. There are. We don't have to abandon concern and care with every other issue simply because there are people that don't have good jobs, that don't have adequate housing, that don't have adequate education, that don't have adequate health care. There are other issues that deserve our attention. But the key word is there are also other issues that deserve our attention. Also. So what are you going to do about it? So what are you going to do about it? You have a candidate who's getting all ready to come down here and just butter you up. His name is Senator Albert Gore Jr. from Tennessee. He said, they're too liberal up in Iowa. I wish I had known he had said that when I had his father in the studio last week. I didn't find out until this weekend. What in the hell does that mean? They're too liberal in Iowa. This country has a very long tradition of helping its citizens until recently. It's what made this country great. It's what made this country the envy of the world. This was a place where you could come and succeed. And if you didn't have the ability to succeed on your own, then there were people willing to help you. There were people willing to take a chance on you at public expense. They were willing to give you 160 acres to plow. And if you built a house on it and cleared it and raised some crops, it was yours. But we don't have 160 acres to give away anymore. And we don't have an agricultural economy anymore. But there has to be something that is the equivalent. Because this country has a long tradition of helping its citizens, the people loved it. The people loved the system. Well, that seems to be changing because we are changing. Now we rally behind people who want to cut taxes for the rich and give us buzzwords about traditional family values. Yes, elect me and I'll provide leadership and traditional family values. Traditional family values do not mean low taxes for the wealthy. Traditional family values do not mean telling other people how to live and what to watch on television. Traditional family values equate to a good, secure, meaningful job, a decent house, good public schools, and adequate health care. That's what traditional family values are all about. Because if you don't have those things, then you don't have the traditional family to have values, do you? Minimum wage, dead-end jobs, renting and fear of getting sick do not translate into traditional family values, do they? Reading the Bible to kids in the schoolroom ain't gonna cut it. Making women have babies they don't want ain't gonna cut it. Letting the rich off the hook ain't gonna cut it. Reducing the minimum wage by creating enterprise zones ain't gonna cut it. Nor is talking about your leadership qualities. That ain't gonna cut it either. Nor is tap dancing gonna cut it. Specifics. Things that we can dissect. That'll cut it. Again, let me go back to Jesse Jackson for a moment, and again, let me give you an example. In the St. Petersburg Times yesterday, Jackson spoke about the infrastructure in this country, and it's falling apart. And it's true. Nobody knows what the hell to do about it. Well, Jackson proposed taking some of the pension money. He says there's $600 billion in pension assets, taking 10% of those, and requiring that they be invested back into this country. Guaranteed, mind you. Maybe it would work. Maybe it wouldn't. But at least it's something to ponder. At least it's something to put your teeth into. At least Jesse Jackson is willing to give me some idea of what to expect should he ever earn my vote. Which is a hell of a lot more than I can say about any of the other candidates. I'm sick and tired of hearing, I'll provide leadership and work for a nonpartisan effort to confront the problems at hand. Next question. Ah, well, I've got an answer for that one, too. I'll provide leadership and work for a nonpartisan effort to confront the problem at hand. How about the next question? Oh, this is easy. Oh, I can answer that one. I'm sick and tired of this kind of talk. And only you can do something to change it. You've got to read, you've got to listen, and then you've got to get involved and get in touch. So allow me to recap, if you would. Jobs, housing, education, health care. I defy you to tell me that they're not important. The most important things to each and every one of us. And I challenge you to tell me what you're going to do about it. Let me give you the telling there. I'm starting the diet tomorrow evening. I checked in last week, went through all the processes, and starting tomorrow evening, I'll be going back to get my first week's worth of food. Why? Simple. I'm sick and tired of being fat, you know? That's what it boils down to. I'm sick and tired of being fat. See, all of my life, my weight has gone up and down like a yo-yo. Up and down, and all of a sudden, it's just a yo. No more yo-yo. You get my drift? And the people at Nutrisystems can help. I know they can. I've been there before. Years ago. It did the job. And I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you why I put the weight back on. Because I didn't like the food. It worked. I took off a ton of weight, but I didn't like the food. Well, that's all changed. All changed. The foods are completely redone. The variety, the texture, the taste, completely all new. Nutrisystem. I recommend them. Hope to see you there. In St. Petersburg, you can get in touch with them at 321-4584. In Clearwater, 791-4334. And in North Tampa, 960-8550. I'll let you know all about it. Take you through it with me day by day. And I know it's going to work for me. It could work for you. And by the way, this week only, Nutrisystems is offering a discount. They will match your weight loss. For example, if you needed to lose 50 pounds, they'll knock off 50%. Nutrisystems. Do yourself a favor. Or an apartment. Or a shack. These are things that you can all do something about. But not if you're going to sit there on your ass. Martha in St. Petersburg. Hi, you're on the air at WFLA.
Hello, Bob. I certainly enjoy hearing from you again.
Well, I'll tell you, Martha, I'm not enjoying hearing from regular callers. I'm not enjoying it at all.
Why?
I mean, you're the fourth or fifth person I've put on the air, and I believe all of you have been regular callers. Where the hell are the other people?
Well, I tell you, Bob,
Are you starving in the gutter, Martha?
I beg your pardon?
Are you starving in the gutter?
I didn't understand.
Are you starving in the gutter?
No, I'm not.
Either am I. I wonder where the hell the people who are.
Well, I want to tell you something. It is very difficult to get to the American people. I don't think they understand. The moment that you bring out the need, they scream socialism. And they call you name and do everything else. They have to be educated, you see.
Well, I'm just waiting for the first person to call up. I defy the first person to call up and tell me that jobs, housing, education, and health care are not the most important issues.
Oh, there are, but I think they are too dumb to understand. Another thing that I want to bring out, people say about education. As far as the education is concerned in this country, I think it has been done on purpose. It is no accident. How easy do you realize it has been to tell the American people what they want to hear when they don't know any better? And they've been doing that for 43 years. They've been giving the wealth of this nation to the military. The whole thing has to change. Why don't they even try to understand this beyond my comprehension? I don't understand it. I have tried. I really have tried to talk to people and everything. The minute you mention anything like this, they have that one philosophy. I have mine, and to hell with you.
Thank you, Martha. Norman in Maduro.
I'd like to ask you how you reconcile your strong stand on good jobs for everyone when you try to get a man whose views you don't agree with fired from his good job.
Who's that?
Dave Caton from NFD.
Oh, I didn't try to get him fired from his good job. I just gave him a little taste of his own medicine.
Well, with all due respect, I think your listeners need to take note of your personal hypocrisy.
My personal hypocrisy, huh?
After you sermonize on fairness.
Yeah.
What
did I do? Why don't you tell them what I did, Deb? Even though it has not a damn thing to do with this show, even though it's a self-serving, single-interest issue with you, why don't you tell them what I did, Deb?
Did you not have...
Why don't you tell them what I did? Just flat out tell them.
Well, I think you realize that you wanted all your listeners to call in this man's employer and try to get him fired from his job.
Oh, no, not at all, Deb. If that was the end result, so be it. What I tried to have the listeners do is the exact same thing that Caton and the NFD do to other people, to give them a little taste of their own medicine. I gave out the number once.
Well, I really think if you're so interested in fairness for everybody having a good job, when someone has a good job, what gives you the right to try...
Get off my phone, you miserable slut. Bob and Tim.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah.
I think you're an asshole.
Yeah, really? Amazing. Just amazing. Steven...